Calvin Noy is screaming off of the edge. He knows it. He can see his helmet looking down for the snap.
3rd and goal. Minshew looking end zone, and it is incomplete. Stevens and Adams tied up, and now a flag. Brandon Stevens had the coverage on Davante Adams.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. It's a double move.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21.
Brandon Stevens. Brandon Stevens gets his hands on Davante Adams. He doesn't need to do that. I know that Davante Adams is a big, powerful wide receiver, but as soon as you get your hands on someone, especially because he gets it up around his neck, it's going to get called every single time.
1st and goal from the 1. Gene Steratore telling us from New York he did not agree with that call.
Probably because of the fighting and going back and forth between the two.
White, no, it's Minshew, touchdown! Davante Adams! And now let's see what Antonio Pierce does. He is sending his field goal, or his extra point unit on the field to tie the game. What a fake by Minshew, and what a game for Davante Adams.
Davante Adams with his 110th yard on the day. He's been the reason. This is kind of a pass read option. Gardner Minshew sticks the ball in the belly of the running back. As soon as he sees he's got man coverage with Davante Adams, he pulls it and zips it in. Marlon Humphrey is just unawares. That's how most of these receptions have been for Davante. Quarterback not seeing the ball in flight. It's in Davante's hands before you know it.
And as we discussed, Vegas abandons the run. Not one run on the drive.
Well, I mean, they're not good at it, Andrew.
Well, that's why we discussed it.
Right, why do something you're not good at? It's another look at the touchdown. Gardner Minshew getting height. Marlon Humphrey did exactly what you're supposed to do. As soon as you see action to catch a ball, just start stripping down. But Davante Adams' hands too strong, brings that thing in. We got a tie game.
So for Davante Adams, that is his 96th career receiving touchdown, moving closer to 100. Something we discussed with him last night. He said he has a number in his mind of where he wants to get to. Would not tell us what that number was, but he did point out that it's pretty crazy that in his first 2 years, he had 4 touchdowns combined. Only 1 touchdown in his second year with the Packers, and now closing in on 100 for his career.
It is pretty amazing. And a lot of those touchdowns were from Aaron Rodgers, and that connection that he developed was pretty spectacular.
And this will be a touchback with 3:54 to go. Let's check in with AJ.
Well, Andrew, as Tiki just noted, that connection between Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Davante told us that he's been trying to develop some more chemistry with Gardner by ironically looking at old film of those Green Bay days. And he says Gardner's a really humble guy, eager to learn and eager to see the game from Davante's perspective. And that's been adding to what they have been building here on this Raiders team, guy.
Well, certainly have relied on that connection here in the second half, tying the game at 23. Ravens have 2 timeouts remaining, and they'll start this drive at the 30-yard line. Jackson, here comes the pressure, and guess who? Max Crosby! Flying into the backfield for the sack of Jackson.
Max Crosby it's a stunt, it's a game. The ET game, in goes first, the tackle comes second, comes around. He does such a good job of making that rush look like he's going out, putting his foot in the ground, coming around. You have Daniel Faalele just completely unawares.
Second sack of the game for Crosby, a loss of 9. Jackson will run this one. And Hill is stood up by Spillane. third and long coming. Antonio Pierce has 3 timeouts remaining. John Harbaugh with 2. Here in Baltimore with Tiki Barber, A.J. Ross, and Gene Steratore, I'm Andrew Catalan. What a game we've had here for the Ravens home opener as both these teams try to avoid an 0-2 start.
Yeah, we had an ugly first half, and in the second half, things have gotten a lot more exciting. The Ravens got some early points. Now the Raiders are being stringent and coming back.
3rd and 19, check down to Justice Hill, stopped well short of a first down, and some frustration from the home fans here in Baltimore. 4th down and a punt coming.
Yeah, this is a play just not to make a mistake. Obviously, the Raiders are going to play deep zone coverage behind this. There's nowhere for Lamar Jackson to fit that ball into. You get shell-shocked and you get sacked the way that he got sacked at the beginning of this drive. It throws you completely out of your plan.
Justice Hill went out of bounds, so Las Vegas did not have to use a timeout. They still have 3 remaining. Stout with a flag down, a short punt. Stout, who's normally so reliable, has this one come out bad, but let's see what the penalty marker is.
Yeah, this is in the backfield. And they're moving it up even farther. This ball is on the plus side of the 50. That is a horrendous punt by Jordan Stout.
24 yards.
Number 25 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own. 5 yards added to the end of the play. First down.
Wow. So a 19-yard flip of the field. A look at our game summary. And as Tiki pointed out, a very slow start in the first half. But both these teams and their offenses have come to life in the second half. Derrick Henry, a touchdown run, 84 yards rushing for Henry. Big pass interference call here. And it leads to the touchdown from Gardner Minshew to Davante Adams.
And this has been the matchup that has gotten the Raiders back into this game.
They run it with Zamir White. Some hard running. And White, after the Raiders did not run the ball once on their last drive, begins this drive with an 8-yard carry.
And because where the Raiders started field position wise, they are, and we're going up against the 2-minute, we're heading to the 2-minute here. They're in a position to not have to urgently try to get down the field. For most of this game, it's been all about playing catch up, but now they can do what they want to do. Zamir White, tough running, got that X in front of him, crossing, protecting the ball. He had a fumble a week ago. Coach Pierce told us Tom Coughlin called him immediately. Said, get that ball high and tight. I know that mantra very well.
That was a Baltimore timeout. So John Harbaugh stopping the clock with 2:15 on the clock. But now the Ravens only have 1 timeout remaining. Harbaugh lost a timeout earlier in this half on a failed challenge.
Right. It's a design to try to. You have to stop them now. If you don't stop them, the Raiders are in position to run this thing down and kick the game-winning field goal. So this is all on the Ravens defense right now.
2nd and 1. Minshew over the middle, and that is caught. Jacoby Myers reels it in. First down for Las Vegas. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning.
This puts the Raiders in winning position right now.
Vegas has lost 49 straight games when trailing by 10 or more in the 4th quarter. They were down 10 earlier today, but they've got the ball and they're driving. Here is White, and John Harbaugh will call his final timeout.
And that's the last time that John Harbaugh can stop the clock here. And if you're the Raiders, obviously you're trying to get a first down. But again, being in winning position, the clock is on your side here. You have a great kicker, run the ball 2 more times, get this thing down to under a minute.
Well, stay tuned for the NFL Today update delivered by Little Caesars. That's time permitting. All the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up. Now, so Tiki, if you were Luke Getsy and Antonio Pierce, you just run the ball 2 more times?
I would. I mean, obviously you can try to be aggressive because you know that the Baltimore Ravens think that that's what you're going to do as well, and maybe give them the ball back with 30 or so seconds left on the clock. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm not risking it.
Ravens expecting run. It is a handoff to White, and Zamir White pushes the pile down to the 22-yard line. Baltimore cannot stop the clock.
Right, this thing goes down to 110 now. You got to run it one more time. After that, it'll get down to about 35 or so seconds.
So far today, the Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson is 3 for 3, including kicks from 53 yards and 51 yards.
And if you get a first down here, the game is effectively over. Same play.
Here's White. Does not get the first. 2 yards shy, so Las Vegas can take their time. Potentially even use a timeout just to give Carlson plenty of time to set up the operation and kick the field goal.
And that's exactly what Antonio Pierce is going to do. Let this thing tick down. About 30 seconds, call a timeout. 31 seconds, call the timeout. And bring on Carlson.
Talk to Antonio Pierce about his game management. He, as we mentioned, has Marvin Lewis on the sideline with him to help him in these situations, along with Matt Sheldon, the director of football research and strategy. Antonio saying that with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter and fourth quarter, the three of those men huddle up, discuss time, clock management, and it's very clear Antonio had a good plan of what he wanted to do here with 31 seconds left.
Absolutely. And the one thing that they talk about is possessions, and being down in this game as much as they were, it's about how do you maximize your possessions. It's helped when you have an interception, as Robert Spillane provided that situation for them, despite them missing the fourth down conversion, the turnover on downs. But now they need Daniel Carlson to nail this through, and then on the kickoff, that's where a decision comes. You likely kick it to the end zone because you don't want to risk a return. But the ball starts at the 30, and Lamar Jackson has only got to go about 40 yards or so until you get to Justin Tucker's range. So it's what do you do?
First things first, a 38-yard field goal attempt for Daniel Carlson in his 7th year out of Auburn. Out of the hold of the punter A.J. Cole. Kick on the way, and it is good! With 27 seconds left, Las Vegas goes up by 3.
Daniel Carlson's been automatic today. Right through the uprights for Daniel Carlson. So here's something to discuss, Andrew. Before the dynamic of Gardner Minshew celebrating as well on the sideline, knowing he put his team in position to come from behind and win this game. But my point, Andrew, before the dynamic kickoff, you had time like this on the clock, you would squib it. You would hard squib it just so the clock would start and you maybe give them a chance to return. But now the ball has to hit inside the 20, so the squib is out. But you probably want this thing to land inside of that landing zone so that the clock ticks off. Now it's risky, obviously, because it could break one and lose on a walk-off,
or
kickoff return touchdown.
Take the whole play out of commission.
But you take the touchback. Lamar Jackson needs 30 yards.
13 unanswered points for Las Vegas. Let's see what they decide to do with the kickoff. Carlson. And this one is destined for a touchback. So the Ravens will get the ball at the 30. Coming up next, don't forget Game 2 of our NFL on CBS doubleheader. Most of you will see the Bengals take on the Chiefs. That's coming up next on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. But the Ravens without a timeout and 27 seconds on the clock put the ball in the hands of the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. Jackson over the middle, and he's got a man. That is Mark Andrews, who crosses the 40, and now they got to hustle. An 11-yard pickup, 15 seconds to go, and Jackson stops the clock with 14 seconds remaining. Now, the one thing you have to keep in mind, and we talked about this earlier in the game, is Justin Tucker. One of the best kickers in the history of the NFL. But over the last 2 seasons, he has struggled from 50 yards and longer. Just 1 of 7 from 50 yards or more, including a miss today of 56 yards.
Yes, but you have to make the assumption, if you're John Harbaugh, that Justin Tucker is going to make that 50-plus yard kick. So if you're Lamar Jackson, you need to get this ball to the 40-yard line. The opposing team's 40.
Lamar in trouble. Keeps it alive and throws it away as Crosby was breathing down his neck. And now 7 seconds remain.
Lamar needed to get rid of that ball a lot faster than that. Obviously, it's what the Raiders are trying to take away. But those extra couple of seconds just from scrambling off the clock put you in a position now. The ball has to be at the sideline. You can't complete a pass over the middle of the field and expect to get up and spike it.
In pregame warmups, Tucker hit from 70 yards. From here, it's 76. So if they can get a quick little 10-yard out, Tucker might have a chance. Play clock winding down. And before the snap, we have a stoppage. Trey Blake, our referee.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Las Vegas, their second of the half. Please reset the game clock to 7 seconds. Thank you.
Here's what we were talking about in the pregame with Justin Tucker, good from 70.
That's off a tee, though. That's not snap. That hits the camera. I mean, that's a good kick. That's a field goal. Hits the camera. But that's not the mechanism. Yes, the camera's good, but that's not what snap, hold, kick. That's from a stationary tee.
That's fair.
It's a different mechanism.
Well, we know he's got the NFL record, a 66-yard field goal back in 2021.
It'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do defensively here. Do you press up front on the wide receivers? Obviously, it creates a risk, but with off coverage as they seem to be lining up, the possibility for Lamar Jackson to get this thing out, it's likely to come down here, get this thing out to the sideline is high.
Jackson looking deep down the field, likely could not hold on with 1 second left.
Man.
And that was a deep out, Tiki.
It was a deep out, and Isaiah Likely, it looked like he had it, but you see the hit. The hit by Jack Jones jars it. Sneaky great play by Jack Jones. Because this ball is in Isaiah Likely's hands. And if he goes to the ground in possession, that's a catch.
Las Vegas falls back into a deep prevent defense with 1 second on the clock. And Antonio Pierce will use his final timeout.
I get why Antonio Pierce is doing this. This is just to collect the mindset of his defense right now. Don't let anything stupid happen. If you need to catch a wind, a little breath, whatever it may be, I'm giving it to you right now. Be smart. Everything has to stay in front of you.
A Las Vegas team that has lost 7 of its last 8 games on the road. Had to fly across the country. They didn't get in until about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon here to Baltimore, and trying to pick up a monster win on the road in Baltimore's home opener. Lamar Jackson, we know he's got the arm talent to throw at the length of the field. But will the protection be there? Because you got Max Crosby coming at you, even though Las Vegas will only rush 3.
But even with rushing 3, you still got to believe Max Crosby, who's standing right here in the middle of the field.
Jackson just going to run. Lamar with blockers ahead. Jackson throws it back. That's Justice Hill. Hill, that looks like a forward pass. There's the flag. Stanley coughs it up. Raiders don't have it yet. Now they do, and that should do it. What a comeback by Las Vegas.
Incomplete one pass by the offense. The game is over.
The game is over, and so are a lot of survivor pools across the country. The Baltimore Ravens are 0-2 for the first time since 2015.